What is up, Internet Land? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here for the Transformers third-party review. And today the figure we're looking at is the X-Transbots Commander Stack. But before I get into this, I want to say I'm doing things a little bit different today. I've noticed that most of the reviews for this figure tend to show him going from his robot mode into his vehicle mode. And I think that partly that's to do with some people, that's just the way they prefer to do things. Some people are doing that because it comes packaged in robot mode. And so the first transformation you'd need to do is into vehicle mode. And maybe it's because that's what the instructions say, because it comes packaged in robot mode and the instructions only tell you how to do it one way. I'm assuming, actually, I haven't looked at them. But in any case, I ran a poll on the Show Z Discord, and people said that they wanted me to do it from robot mode into vehicle mode. I usually do... Sorry, the other way around. I usually do robot mode and vehicle mode because I personally feel that generally that's the more difficult transformation, and that holds true for this figure. This is going to be super easy for me, and because it's a more difficult transformation, I think that less people are keen on doing it that way, and so I am more keen on doing it that way. So yeah, we're going to talk about his alt mode first and then transform into robot mode. Other than that, it's pretty much everything that you can expect. I will point out that I do have a couple QC issues on this figure, which I am borrowing, by the way. One of them being he is missing a smokestack. Just the little fiddly bit on top. And first of all, I don't even know how that comes out. Like, I'm not sure how exactly that's installed. But anyhow, I have reported this to the guy that I'm borrowing it from, and he seems to be kind of ambivalent about it, which is fine by me. It's his toy. I also know that this is an X-Transbots figure. X-Transbots, of course, being the same company as Alien Attack and Keith's Fantasy Toys, and at least one other that I know of. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. And getting spare parts out of Keith is like pulling teeth. It is just fucking impossible. So I don't know what he's going to do about it. It will not be any kind of a concern in robot mode, which is how my friend is going to keep this like 100% of the time. So I don't even know if he's really all that concerned about it. But here he is in his vehicle mode. He rolls nicely on all of his like rubber tires. They all interface with the ground, more or less. A little bit of a... yeah. He does have a little bit of articulation. So that's something. You can open up his doors, though there is not a whole lot of legroom in there. Let's see if I can get this zoomed in. Yeah, you still can't see anything. There are little seat details in there, but like you're not going to get even one of those Hasbro things to sit in there. Or sorry, Takara figures. You can open up his back here, and you can roll a vehicle up into there. I don't have a Masterpiece vehicle on hand at the moment. And if you disconnect these guys, which are a little bit of an issue, because you kind of start pulling everything apart to disconnect them. I mean, you can lower this down and pretend to put guys up on this one, but you know, with that much of a space, it will be pretending. But anyhow, yeah, instead of talking about articulation, well, I mean, that was his articulation. He does come with accessories, but none of them factor into this mode. And so I will talk about them when I get him into robot mode, which means I guess the transformation is the next thing to do. So this guy is a bit big. So I'm going to do my best to keep everything in frame and to keep everything in a sensible way. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to focus on his arms. You want to grab this and rotate it. You're going to rotate it out away from the arms here. And we're going to do this for both sides. You may end up disconnecting this panel here, that's fine. The arms are pegged together up here and in this gun here, which you can just take and remove and set to the side. Let's just focus on one arm and work it all the way up. Oh hey, before we get too much farther in this arm, I do want to get these panels down, which means we'll need to go to the underside of this. We'll need to disconnect this doohickey from here, and then you'll rotate the cab off to the side to slip this side out, and then rotate it off to the other side to slip that side out. And then you can take this and disconnect it. It's just pegged in a couple pegs up here, and they'll go all the way down. And that'll get that mostly out of the way. All right. So for this, what we want to do is you can take this guy here and kind of flex this to pull that tab out like that. There's a panel in here with a tab sticking up. You just want to take this and flip that up. You want to take this panel and push that out a little bit. That will allow you to fold this whole thing up and over and then click that into place. This guy here, by the way, does anybody know what these little nubs up here are? Because there's like a sphincter detail in here, and I'm just like, bro's got sphincters in his shoulders. I don't know that that's normal. And then you want to take this panel and fold it into there, and this tab, which we had on the other one, now goes into the slot, and you do kind of need to flex this out to get that to tab in properly. This rocket will slide forward on this little joint, and then you'll take this guy and rotate it 180 degrees, and then when you plug this in, it'll look great. This guy here is going to fold up. You can take this arm and collapse it right there, and then you want to crack open this armor panel here, and it's going to open up like so. You'll fold in this panel here, and then there's a double hinge down here that you'll double hinge it down and then close this all back up onto itself. Before you do that, you may want to move the thumb. Not that you can't do it while you close it up, but it's easier when there's not like his like sleeve in the way. And that's an arm. This arm is going to stay out of the way a lot better in this mode than it will when it's all long and gangly. So then let's get real quick onto the other arm. Oh, by the way, this is my other QC issue that's plagued with this. Is that one of these skirt armors does not like to stay tabbed in. It seems like nothing seems broken on it. Nothing seems damaged. Nothing seems distorted or whatnot. And yet, I can't get it to stay in. The really funny thing is that you know, this is a like just a simple cylinder here, and I'm pretty certain it's just a simple cylinder on the other side too, but like this one falls out and the other one doesn't. I don't know. That may fall out again, and I'll put it back in again. Whatever. But anyhow, we're going to do pretty much that whole process on this other arm as well. So start here, kind of flex this to pull that out. There There you go. Bring this around so that's out of the way of what we're trying to do. Take this panel here, fold that up. And actually, before we fold this up, let's just do all this while we're here. So take this guy, fold this in, collapse this like so. Open up these armor panels, fold this guy in, pull the thumb out while it's convenient. Collapse this in, combine and wars it up. Fold this around and close that. And then fold this around. Oops, get that out of the way. Fold this around, click it into place. Bring this sphincter shoulder up, come on, up and in, and bam. And then we want to take and flex this guy out just a little bit. Slide this forward, rotate this around. Now we can keep the arms more or less out of the way, more or less. The next thing we want to work on is the cab. So from here, oh, by the way, if you haven't put these smokestacks in, you might as well, because it'll keep them from getting damaged while they're moving around. I found that these things tend to flop. I am going to fold these down into their stowed position. So while we're here, we want to take and immobilize this joint here. So that's with this little bracket right here. You'll just take this and tuck this under and push it through, and then rotate it into place. Bam. And now it's immobilized. You want to take these wheels here and bring them out like that. And then with this panel here, you want to kind of pull that down, fold that in slightly, and then that will allow you to push this and flex the tank out. While you bring this out, push this little panel in. And now this is going to fold in all the way like that. And then this is going to click onto that gray strut right there. Ta-da! And then we're going to do the same for the other side. So pull the wheel out, disconnect this tab, fold that panel halfway, bring this tab out and around. My finger pushed that in as I went, so we're just going to click that into place. And there's that. These guys here will slide down. By the way, if you're going to put batteries in his sound box, this is the easiest time to do it. When he's in his alternate mode, just a little screwdriver, put some batteries in there. I don't know what kind. I generally have a strong disdain for lights and sounds gimmicks in the toys, so I would never put them in my toys, and I'm not going to put them in other people's toys unless asked, which I haven't been, so. From here, you kind of want to just grab this and, come on, grab this and kind of flex it a bit. That will disconnect this. Hello. And so you've got his head disconnected here, this section disconnected here, and then this whole thing is going to fold forward here. And this is exactly the three parts you want to separate this into, which is great. And that came out again. So from here, and I'm going to take and we are going to disconnect these panels. You want to disconnect this panel here. See how you've got like red on the other side of this panel? This is all outer shell details. You kind of fold this out and fold that out. You can take this little joint and fold that like so. On this side it's right there. Fold that like so. Open the doors, fold the mirrors in. The doors will open up all the way. You can take this section here and let's get you the best look on this possible. Pull it out like so. You can then fold this around, and we're not going to put this back into place quite yet because we still want to deal around with this stuff here. While we're out, these panels here, you can see it's on a little slider. You want to slide that out ever so slightly. That will give you the space you need to rotate these panels without any kind of concern. And then they will kind of just go back in. You want to take these guys here and fold them in and in and in. And then this whole section here is going to, I do want to be at a higher angle. This whole section here is going to double joint down. Now, for these set of panels here, the way you want to do this is you want to fold this panel in, and this panel will come out. This panel here will bend halfway and then slide up, and then you will fold this down and bend it right here at this hinge. So that is how you want this to look. And there it is from the other side. That's how you want that to look. Let's do this again with this side. So starting from where it was in, this is basically vehicle mode configuration, you're going to open that panel, open that panel, fold this guy in, fold this guy halfway and slide that, and then fold this in, and then fold that the rest of the way. And then that's going to be your position right there. For the big red bumper, you want to fold these and then bring them basically all the way around. So fold them and then bring them basically all the way around. And you want to be very cognizant of this double hinge right here on the red bumper, and you want to bring it down like that. That will allow you to bring these bumper segments fully in, but most importantly, if you don't have it in like that, did I do it the right way? No, maybe I didn't. Basically, you're trying to get this to be fully folded in. And you need to have just the right angle on this. I think the first time I tried to do this, I ended up folding it in like so. And that was definitely the wrong way to do it. You got to fold this up and over so that all of this sits flat. So let's start getting this into its robot mode configuration. So with this in place, we're going to bring this around. There are a couple tabs here on this red panel here that are going to slots on these panels here. And we'll just push them in like so. And then you've got this weird contraption right here. You're going to take and grab just this section right here. Let me get this centered. I only have so many eyes and so many hands. Let's get and bring this up and in, and then that's going to fold flat. And that will fold flat. this panel folded in. And so now you're going to fold this head in. This little panel is just going to fold in here. You'll find that your side view mirrors are going to go into these little notches right there. And then you've got these two tabs up at the front that you'll kind of massage into place. And then for his arms, you'll want to take this panel here and fold that up. And it's just going to fold flat on the other side. And then this is going to come out part way and then fold this guy, this little tab in like so. And then fold it the rest of the way, and then take this panel and fold that in. And then this guy is going to come in like so, and then this guy is going in this tab right here under my thumb is going to fit into this slot right there. Just like so. Oh, and while you're here, you can take these and fold them in. And fold that in. And then we're going to do the same for the other side. Bring this out. Fold that tab in 90 degrees. Bring this the rest of the way around. Fold this panel in 90 degrees. Clamp this over that. Clamp this over that. When you close this, you do want to make sure that there's a, let's bring his stuff around. This little white tab right here needs to go underneath. There's a slot in this tab that we closed over. There's a slot in there. And you want to make sure that it goes into that little slot. Like so. He is flush on the back of this waist section. He's flush on the front of that waist section. You've got this tab that goes into the slot on the butt flap. In vehicle mode, it kind of sits in there like so. If it hasn't disconnected by now, you want to disconnect that. Bring this down on that double hinge. And now for these last little panels here, you want to take this upper one and bring that in, and it will just push into its home like so. Bam, bam, click it into place. For this one on the front, you'll see that there's two big old tabs here. There's slots on the underside of this chest, so you want to take and ab him down and then hook those onto those tabs and then press on that till it clicks. There are two tabs on the back side. I should have shown them before I clicked it on the place, but there's two tabs on the back on the inside of this waist joint, and they will click into place. And now we can focus on the legs, and then we're almost done. So for this whole panelly aspect here, I could have done this earlier, but I didn't want to distract too much from what we were doing. So you want to take this and fold this in like so. Bring this this little triangular panel up and in like so. Bring this all the way around. This little triangular panel will come out. What you're doing on this side is you're actually lining up these panels to be flush with each other. So this guy here will come out and around. This will fold up. And then from the inside of the leg, you want to disconnect. There's a tab here. There's a tab that goes into a slot here, and then a tab that goes into a slot here. So you want to disconnect this one here, and then pull this up slightly. That will free this. Be free, be free. And then on this side of the body, you'll want to bring this panel up, fold that one in, bring it all the way up like that. This whole thing will disconnect. There's a tab right here. Disconnect that. And then you'll fold this and this and this so this all accordions up. This is going to come out, and this panel is going to come out. This panel here is going to come up. You're going to flex this around just a little bit so that instead of in vehicle mode, it'll tab onto this outside tab here and then fold down. For robot mode, you want to tab on this inside tab right there. That will prevent him from having gappy shins. Nobody likes gappy shins. All right, now you want to rotate this at the ankle joint. And really quick, I want to show you, there's this strut here that folded into this space here. There's a spring-loaded panel in there that you do when you're going into vehicle mode. It'll just slide out when you're going into robot mode. So bring this all down. This is going to flex out, come in, and then this tab, this L-shaped tab is going to plug into a slot right up in here. It's not going to like lock in, but it will sit in there, and it will sit in there solidly once everything's together. You do need to make sure, as I'm having this problem right now, you do want to make sure that this red panel here kind of fits underneath this chunk of leg. Otherwise, you're going to have a difficult time getting this all to fit. So, as you can see, this doesn't hold it in, but it holds it in place once everything's locked together. So now we're going to lock everything together. So this is going to come in. This wheel is going to sit off to the side. You're going to fold this down. And this panel here is going to slide into, if you pull this out, you'll notice that there is a corresponding slot in here. You just slide it into place. With these wheels in place, then you'll take this and bring this around, close it over the wheel, close this over to plug that in, and then close this over to plug that in. And there's a leg all done. Let's do the second leg real quick. I've shown you how to do the first one, so I'm going to kind of speed run this second one. So take this, fold this, put that in, make sure this panel's folded out, accordion all of this up, disconnect this panel from his foot, bring it to the back, straighten out his foot. Then you want to make sure that this leg goes into place and arrange that panel onto that tab and that tab into that. Oops, I forgot a step. Pull this all out a little bit so that I can get this white panel to flex around and tab into there. Bam! Now do all that. Bring this panel out and around, bring this panel out, rotate, fold that in, rotate the rest of the way, rotate the rest of the way, yes, fold that, fold that, fold that. There we go. That's my problem. Make sure everything's lined up just right. Because this joint needs to go into a little hollow for it. And why is this not clearing? There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Make sure these are folded up. Make sure this tab is folded in. Put his crotch into its proper configuration. Put his arms around the right way. And there we have Commander Stack in his robot mode, and he is actually a very good looking Ultra Magnus. Let's make sure it's super clean transformation, kind of a little bit of a panel magic going on. The transformation doesn't suck. There's a lot of steps, and I mean like a lot of steps, but none of the steps are hard, none of the steps are difficult. I would even say that none of the steps are unintuitive. It's a pretty easy transformation. It just takes some time to do because there's a lot of steps to it. QC number 3. You done goofed. He's missing a smokestack. But yeah, really good looking figure. In terms of accessories, he comes with his gun, which we saw earlier. That folds out and clips into place. A little Masterpiece style tab in there. Open up his hand. He's got a slot in the palm of his hand. We've seen this like a million times already. Fold his fingers around. Gun looks a little small if I'm being honest, but it's the one he came with. It's his molded in white plastic, painted blue. Painted a blue that doesn't match this guy at all, which is weird to me. I don't know if there's like an animation cell or a scene where this turns up being this kind of more purpley kind of shade, because all of this armor panel, like these are molded in blue plastic, but then they are painted blue on top of it. You can see this paint finish on it. Slightly metallic-y, but, you know, gives it really good. So, like, why they didn't put that onto there, I don't know. Typically, I think that Ultra Magnus's gun comes out being white for most figures, so I don't know. Either one of those would have made more sense to me, but maybe, as I said, there's some animation cell that I'm not keyed in on that would explain all of this to me, and then I would feel like an idiot. Maybe, I don't know. He does come with alternate faces, so he comes with 5 alternate faces. Let's zoom in on, well, let's zoom on his actual face. Ultra Magnus looking stern, like he's doing business. And here's Ultra Magnus smiling. That's just weird. And here's Ultra Magnus whistling. And here's Ultra Magnus saying that he can't deal with that right now. And here's Ultra Magnus looking like he just got kicked in the nuts. And here's Ultra Magnus, which looks like the same sculpt, except this one's got a silver chin. And as I look at them again, some of these have silver chins, and some of them don't. Looks like the smiling face, the stern face, and the can't deal with it now face all have silver chins. And these other two just have white chins. 3 if you count the one that's on his face right now. Disconnecting these, I haven't done this before, but I think it's pretty simple. You just take, and they seem to be just a tab on the other side, so maybe it is just as simple as getting a spudger back in there. Well, there's the mating tab right there, so I don't know. Tis a mystery. Well, I'm not going to deal with it too much. But yeah, so he comes with alternate faces, which you can switch out. He does come with 2 sets of clear eyes, because you'll notice that some of these eyes are a little squinted, and some of them are a little wider. And so he comes with exactly 1 squinted eye and 1 wider eye in clear, because I also understand that he's got electronics in his face somewhere, but I don't know where. Again, I have no idea if there's electronics. I haven't gotten into that because I'm not in the habit of, I'm not in the habit of installing batteries in my own toys. I'm certainly not in the habit of installing batteries into toys that I'm borrowing, so I greatly apologize for that. But anyhow, in terms of articulation, oh wait, I've got one last accessory, which is, there was an episode where our protagonists all got turned into humans, and this is the representation of Ultra Magnus as the human mode. I understand that this is the same sculpt as the Springer one that X-Transbots came out with, just with completely different paint apps. So there's that. That's all of his accessories. In terms of articulation, his head is on a swivel with a joint that goes up and down ever so slightly. His shoulders go about on ratchets. A soft ratchet will move out that much on a ratchet, and then move out that much on yet another different ratchet. His missiles will rotate around on that, and they've got like the joints here for transformation or whatnot. He's got a bicep swivel, single joint bend at the elbow for 90 degrees. His hands are very well posable. He's got a ball joint at the thumb and then 2 hinge joints going up the thumb. He's got a hinge on the whole palm itself, which would make for some really cool poses if his hand wasn't completely restricted by, you know, this sleeve here. Each finger is separately jointed, and you've got like a base joint at the bottom to kind of spread them out, and then you'll have a hinge joint and hinge joint at each finger. So fully posable fingers, they look pretty good. Look a heck of a lot better than KFC's first posable hand attempts. I think one of the earlier kits was a posable hand set for Ultra Magnus, the Takara Ultra Magnus, and gosh, that one sucked. All ball joints on all the fingers, and they were just atrocious. His waist joint is on a swivel and on an ab crunch. You can crunch it forward that much. You can crunch it backwards that much. This will just all come out. There's actually a hinge in there too. I'm not sure what that's for. I wonder if that's to to fake. Maybe that's to fake a little bit of a teapot joint. Doesn't seem like a very good fakery. His skirt armor, this is going to pop off on me, isn't it? Will come out. This one moves forward all the way. The butt flap moves back all the way. We've seen those already in the transformation. Side one moves out a little bit, so the leg will move forward that much. Backwards that much. Come out for 70% of a Van Damme. You do have a rotation here at the joint. Single joint bend at the knee for 90 degrees. Again, not great, but not bad either. The toe will go forward like so, back nothing at all, and tilt quite a bit. And that is it for posability on this guy. So he looks good. Postability on him is really good. This is a very good looking figure. Like if you have been kind of iffy about the Takara Ultra Magnus, and you have also been iffy about the what's the other one that came out? There's another Masterpiece scale one that came out, which I forgot its name. This is an excellent alternative. Now, he doesn't have the like white prime body underneath. For some people, that's a benefit. For some people, maybe not. If you really want to have a phenomenal looking Optimus Prime that has to have the white prime body on it, Fans Toys will have you covered probably later this year. If you don't like the white prime body and you just want an all-in-one transformation, this is probably going to be it for you. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention one other thing. You can take this and crack this open right here, and like that, and he comes with a big old plastic matrix, which will just come out. This is all in plastic. You can separate it, open it by that much. There it is from the back. No die cast on it whatsoever. And it fits in there fairly loosely. So be careful putting it in so that it doesn't all fall out. But by the way, like, all that matrix chamber stuff in there is fairly well detailed. Looks pretty good. But let's close this up. A handsome looking figure. For a Masterpiece collection, this would receive my recommendation for sure. But anyhow, that's all I've got for today. Thanks everybody for watching. If you made it all the way through here to the end, you are fantastic. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya.